Hello. Welcome to today's Hypernatural webinar. I'm going to let folks kind of slowly come in. Just so we're on the same page, my name is Christina and I am I work here for Hypernatural. We are going to go through a webinar on the deep dive. So, meaning I'm not going to spend a lot of time kind of on this homepage section or like the initial video creation. The assumption for this specific webinar is that folks have already started creating videos and we're looking a little deeper into things that can be edited and changed. So, I will spend most of my time in the editor. If you have any questions at all on anything specific, please use, I think our Q&A should be open. Let me double check. Yes, the Q&A is open, so please use Q&A or just drop it in the chat. We have a member of our team also watching our chat today, so if you have questions, someone will get to you, whether myself or someone monitoring the chat. So let's get started. Today, I'm going to continue from a project that I started in our Hypernatural 101. So for some of you that maybe have attended other versions of this, we have a 101 webinar, which is really like a beginner's webinar. If you haven't started creating videos, that is the webinar for you. And then we have this, our deep dive webinar, which is for folks that are shipping more videos and are looking to go a little deeper. So in our 101 webinar, I started to create a video on two kids who get lost in a forest and find an alien in a spaceship. So I'm going to continue with that same project. And I'll quickly just go through this. This is our prompt box. This is where video creation usually starts. There are multiple ways to start a video. You can start from narrated audio, video, voiceover, any of these options. You can also start from a library item or an image. So there are a lot of ways to get started with a video. For today's video, I just started with a prompt. I am using a few characters today. So I created this character called Creature, which is like a little alien. I created this character fully with a prompt. I did not upload images for this character. Um, I also created, well, actually, we'll go through this in a second. I also created this character named Tina. Similarly, I created her with just a prompt in our tool. I did not add any images. And I created Ben, also with just a prompt. So we're going to use these characters for our images are for our video today. I'd also want to highlight a couple of things that might look different to folks that we are currently working on. And so this is a bit of a teaser. We haven't yet launched these things. So there'll be two things that I'm going to share with you today. I'm going to share with you product. So as in you can now upload a product to Hypernatural and create a consistency across a product instead of just creating consistency within a character. You can, and then we will in the editor, I will show you that you are now also, you will be able to, we haven't launched it yet, edit an image. So those are the two new things that we're launching in Hypernatural this month. They are not currently available for users, but I'm going to show you how you can use them for your next workflow. So for this specific image, I did actually create a product, and I guess this is a bit of a workaround. I will show you how to use the product for an actual product first. So we go here, product. I'm gonna upload an image of Lucky Charms. And I'm gonna name it Lucky Charms. And then I can add more here. Red box, Lucky Charms, cereal, etc. I would suggest adding way more images here. You can add up to 6 reference images for a product. So like if you want to create a product to add for, like a box of cereal, a pair of shoes, etc. That is how you would do this here. Obviously, the more images you add, the better, the more angles you get of that product, and it'll be just the output would be significantly better. But for now, I'm only going to add one because I quite honestly could only find one angle of the Lucky Charms cereal box in the little bit of research I did. So we're going to create this product. And now we have Lucky Charms cereal. I'm going to quickly just make a video about this and with, let's do Tina in the morning only narration. I'm going to use a custom style that I created called Realistic. And I'm going to keep everything else as is for now. Okay, so now it's starting to create the script for this Lucky Charms ad. Again, I asked for only narration, so you have Tina has been casted here. Then you see the reference for the Lucky Charms. And quickly, I'll go through this. For those of you that may not know this, hopefully you do, you can also make changes directly here. So if I don't want this to say this, I can edit this and say like every day holds a little bit of magic, and make small changes that way. Or I can also make broader changes here with the change script. So if, for instance, I wanted Tina to be the one saying all of these things, I could say no narrator, only give Tina dialogue, and then it'll change that here. But for the purposes of this video, I'm going to keep this as is. Okay, now it's creating the video. Again, this is just quickly showing you kind of like a product ad for a new feature, which is product. The way to think about like the product feature is that it's giving you consistency for an object. So while it is optimized for products, you can also use this in other ways. If there's like an object in your video that you want to keep consistent, you could upload that as a product and still use it in your video. Okay. Oh, I guess one thing I could have uploaded was also an image of the actual bowl of cereal. Duh, that could have made sense. All right. Okay. As you can see, you're starting to see the images of Tina with her bowl of Lucky Charms. You're seeing the consistency of the product here. And then you are seeing some cereal here, which is great too. All right, I'm not going to go in depth for this specific video, but kind of just showing you here.
Every day holds a little bit of magic, just waiting to be discovered. And some mornings, that magic starts with a spoonful of pure joy. Those delicious, magically delicious marshmallows aren't just sweet treats. They're a little reminder that your day is about to be wonderfully, uniquely yours. Start your morning with a sprinkle of luck and a bowl of deliciousness. Grab your Lucky Charms today and make every day magically delicious.
Okay, so in this one, I'm also going to show you another one of our new features that we are launching soon. Like, I'm gonna go back to this image here. Where was it? Here, this one. She is holding an entire plate of marshmallows. Um, and I think here maybe I would prefer that she be holding a bowl of cereal or bowl of Lucky Charms. So I'm gonna go just quickly, I clicked on this image and I'm gonna click edit. I'm gonna say replace plate of marshmallows with a bowl of Lucky Charms. Let's see. And I do this for the Lucky Charms simply because Lucky Charms are well known. So I think it's easy enough to just ask for Lucky Charms. But if it were a product that weren't as well known, then the recommendation would be that you add more detail around what that product would look like so that the image model knows what to change it into. Great. So here, now she's holding a bowl of Lucky Charms instead of a bowl of marshmallows. So those are our two newest features that we'll be rolling out soon. We have products and we have the edit feature here in the editor. So again, these aren't available yet, but throughout my webinar today, I'll be using both of these. So I'm not going to make any changes to this one. As I said, I'm going to create this video of Tina and Ben, they're in the forest and met a um they have met this little creature. All right, I've already generated this image. I've already generated this video. All I did was use a prompt that was a story of Ben and Tina get lost in the forest and find a spaceship and this creature. I created this creature. This is a custom character. Ben is a custom character. Tina is a custom character. And as I mentioned, a possible workaround for consistency across objects, I also created an object. Actually, let's go back to this. I also created an object for the spaceship. So the spaceship, it's called the Twinkle spaceship. It's purple, it's gold. And I added, just quickly, I added images from different angles. So the side, the top, the back, the top, the back view, the side view, and like the diagonal view, just so that I can get it from as many angles as possible. So I added this as a product, even though it's not a product ad that I'm creating. I just want that specific object to be consistent in my video. So this is a little bit of a workaround. Okay. Now let's go back to this video. Now, here's a video of Tina and Ben. I'm going to quickly just watch a snippet of it.
Are you sure this is the way, Tina? My map says.
Maps are for grown-ups, Ben. My instincts say this way.
Your instincts led us to that giant spider web last week.
It was a beautiful spider web. Anyway, don't you hear that?
Hear what? Just squirrels.
No, listen, it's like a hum. And look,
Whoa, what is that?
it's
Okay, so this is the video that we're going to work with today. And my goal for this video is that I will animate, so I will add full motion to this video, animate all the scenes, so we can actually get the characters talking to each other and getting some lip sync in there. Before I do that, I'm going to make edits to the script. I'm going to make edits to the images, both in swapping out the images and making small edits to the images. And we'll play around with captions and some of the style, etc. Okay, so we're going to start from the top here. Hopefully, folks have already found a lot of these things, but just to quickly orient, when you're not clicked into a specific scene, you're in our global settings. So design, script, and audio tabs here, these are all global, meaning anything that you change here is going to make changes to the entire video. It is not just for that specific scene. Whereas if you click on a scene, now you are in the scene settings and you can make changes to the specific scene by either swapping out and generating a whole new image, making an edit to the image, or animating this specific image. You can also swap out with stock images. You can look at previously generated images, images and videos. And then you can also look at your uploaded items, and this includes uploads that you made for product or characters. Okay. So, and then here you can also make changes to the design of this. That means like changing the captions for just this scene, changing the pan and zoom. If you're keeping a still image, you can, change how the image pans and zooms out. Changing the transition in and out of this specific slide, out of a specific scene, and then the layout, so the size and the position. So I can make this bigger so it kind of zooms into his face more, and I can change the positioning, like if I wanted to do this, or maybe zoom in on if I wanted like a full body but more zoomed in shot. So those are some of the changes you can make to the image. I don't want to make any changes to this specific image, so I'm going to just keep that as is. Okay, so a couple of things here. Here we go with, I want to, there's a scene here. Let's go. So this scene here, she's pointing at the saucer here.
Incredible. Like something out of a dream.
And I think it's pretty small. So let's go ahead and make this bigger. Um, Although this might be a little hard. Let's see, make let's see what it does. One thing to note about the edit image here is that it's actually not pulling in your reference image. So it is a little harder to just like plop your reference image into a scene that's already generated. If you are wanting to use your reference image in a scene, it is better to just swap it out and make sure you call out the reference image here in the generate. So let's see. So great, it did make it bigger. Maybe not as big as I would have wanted, but still bigger. All right, let's go back here. All right, let's watch the rest of this.
Twinkle.
Twinkle? I wonder who Twinkle is. Look, the door's open.
Maybe we shouldn't get too close.
Don't be a scaredy cat, Ben.
Okay, so going back here, this script here, I want to change it. So the way I will do that is I'm going to go to script. And in the script section, you can see the characters. So if I wanted to change how Ben looked, I would do that here. If I wanted to just change Ben entirely, I would select a new character. Same for any of these, and then same for the narrator. There are no narrator lines here in this specific video, but I could always add those. So I'm going to open up the script, and my intention was that Twinkle was just like the name of the spaceship. I didn't necessarily want it to be the name of the person, right? Like the way you name your boats. So it says Twinkle. I want to remove this and just say, look, the door's open. Maybe I'll make him slow down a little bit. It says Twinkle. Um, oh, maybe we shouldn't get too close. And then here she asks, like, hello, are you Twinkle? So something I'm doing here is I'm going to make edits to the whole script at once. When you regenerate audio, it regenerates the entire audio track. So just to be conscious of like credit usage, sometimes it's better to try to make as many changes to the script here as possible. That includes like if you don't want Ben to talk here, maybe I would want Tina to talk here because Ben's in the scene. I'll probably leave it as Ben. But if I wanted to change this to Tina or Pink Creature talk here, um, that this is the time to do all of those things to try to make just as many edits as possible. Okay, and then here it makes the Pink Creature chirp because we don't have sound effects. I'd rather not have it chirp and then say hello. And then the kids can be like, it talks. Maybe not hello. Let's see. And then I'll just change this to, oh, it looks friendly. Hi, friend. Okay, so I've just made as many changes here as possible to the script that I could think of. Of course, it's hard to make them all at once if you can't think of them all at once, but there we go. So now it's regenerating audio. Right. And let's go here. Okay, so now we've changed what it says. Let's see how it sounds.
It says Twinkle.
Look, the door's open.
Oh, maybe we shouldn't get too close.
Don't be a scaredy cat, Ben. This is the coolest thing ever.
It's Pink.
Hello there.
Okay, so now I've also noticed other areas I'd want to change this. Here we have two things I want to change, which is the space shape in the background, and then I want to change Ben because Ben's hair is supposed to be short. In a situation like this, I would just change the scene entirely. So, let's see. So Ben wearing blue hoodie. I mean, that's what he's wearing, so I don't have to add that. Ben stands in a forest. One thing I'll call out here is also the setting prompt. Because the setting is pretty consistent across this one, I'm not going to make any changes to this. But if, for instance, I wanted the setting to be completely different. Like, let's say downtown, urban, and lots of people walking. Okay, I'm gonna just change it completely, just kind of show what this could look like. I'm gonna be thoughtful about how Ben is standing in the forest, gazing at the pink creature with amazement, and then I'm gonna put twinkle spaceship in background. Let's say actually pink creature walking off of the twinkle spaceship, Ben staring in astonishment and a little scared. All right, so let's do this again. I've just changed the setting, so now the setting should also look different, but I will change the setting back, just kind of showcasing how you can make the setting look different as well. Okay, while we wait for this one to generate, here we also have she's talking to this pink creature. Um, but again, the spaceship looks wrong in the background, so nose down, and I'm gonna say twinkle. And here's where it's like important to just remember what it is that you called your object or even your characters, spaceship and the background. And bit blurry, kind of so it's not in focus. Um, not in focus. Okay, now let's go back to this. So again, we changed the setting completely. I love the way he looks in this. We did change the setting completely here, so this is why now he's in this downtown environment. But if I wanted to change it back, what I would do is I go back to setting here and just copy this setting. I will keep this and create image. Okay, similar here. Love this. We remove the chirp, so just smile softly. Let's do greet softly while sitting on the patchy grass. And then again, because the spaceship is in the background, but it's not calling in the object. And this happens sometimes with characters as well. Like if you see a character in the background, but you want it to be a different character, just make sure you enter the name of that character in the prompt. In the background, out of focus. Okay. So yeah, here we are. Now the twinkle spaceship is in the background. It's out of focus like we requested. And then, okay, so let's say I really like this image and maybe I don't want, I mean, again, like this isn't what the spaceship is supposed to look like, but I just don't want it at all. I could just say remove spaceship from background. So let's edit this image. Okay, so let's go back and see. All right, so he's sitting there and the spaceship is in the background. Now I don't know if I want him sitting, but whatever, he looks cute. Here, the characters look a little funky. So I'm definitely going to regenerate this image completely. Um, yeah, like I don't like Ben's hair, and even the image, I think just generally like doesn't look as good as a 3D image as some of the other ones. Something I could do here. Okay. One thing I could do if I wanted like the consistency of this image in this scene is I could then just use that same scene instead of regenerating a whole new one, right? I'm planning to animate it. So essentially what will happen is that in this scene, Ben is the one talking, and then in this scene, Tina is the one talking. So I'm just going to use the same image. So there's like this consistency from scene to scene without having to change it again. And then here, hmm, of this. I also want to change this scene. So she's just saying, hi, friend. Um, I don't want the spaceship in this. I want it to look similar to this one. Let me just copy and paste the setting. It's not the same. Oh, it is the same. Okay, great. And then I will say, because here she's just saying, hi, friend, I'd rather it be a little bit warmer. Maybe she's like kneels down to be like face to face. So Tina kneels face to face with pink creature and greets warmly. Is out her hand. Okay, generate this image. And then this one, I'm not gonna do too much thinking here. I'm just gonna regenerate it. I want Ben to look like Ben. So let's just hope that we'll regenerate and get closer image to what Ben's supposed to look like. Okay. Okay, so I've made a ton of changes. Just to recap, I've made changes to edit the saucer in size and make it a little bigger. I think maybe even here. I might still make it a little bigger. Yeah, let's try that. So making it bigger. Here it's also a little small, but that's okay. Actually, make it bigger here too. Okay, so I've made the image bigger. I've reused some already generated images. As you can see, actually this here as well, where um she's saying like,
Door's open.
Oh, maybe we shouldn't get too close.
Don't be a scaredy cat, Ben. This is the coolest thing ever.
right? So I'm just reusing the same still image, but once you add motion to them, the the image will move differently because the scene themselves are actually different. Okay, so cute. Let's see. So here I reuse the same image. And then here it created this again, but it still added the spaceship in the background. So I'm going to say remove spaceship. And then this one, all I did was reanimate it. So it looks a lot better. I think I'll keep, although I guess I want it to be more 3D. I know it already says 3D animation, but just kind of to reiterate, I'm just going to add in 3D animation. Okay, so here the spaceship is removed in the background, so I don't have to worry about the inconsistency with the spaceship there. Um, and I've now reanimated or regenerated that image. Okay. All right, let me see. I don't need to make any other changes. Oh, this has two of them. Let's see. We'll move the small spaceship. And actually here I also want to make the spaceship bigger. Okay. make, just because he has a pretty clean buzz. So I'll make his haircut shorter here. As you can see, it's like more of a buzz cut. Okay. Okay, so with that change, I'm feeling pretty good. That looks great. Oh, gosh. Okay, now I just did this. Okay. Let me, okay, so for this one, I think maybe I'm just gonna reanimate this or regenerate this one. So looking at, okay, so here, while glancing at the twinkle spaceship, let's just do a new one here. Okay, all right. Okay, so once this one finishes generating, I am going to add a motion to this entire video. If I only wanted to add motion to a few of them, I might not use the full motion. I might just go one by one if I was only gonna animate like 2 or 3 scenes. The difference, obviously, with like full motion, I'm gonna click this full motion button. With using the storyboard here is I am not controlling the animation prompt. So I'm kind of just like trusting the scene descriptions, etc., to animate this film the way I'd like it. It also will add lip sync to it. Um, but obviously, like there are going to be changes I probably will want to make once I animate the whole thing. So let's add motion. Okay, while we wait for this to generate, just a couple of tips. We didn't go through like creating a character or creating a style. So, and I use one of our stock styles for this, but one thing that I think is important if you're creating something and you're very particular about how you want that thing to look and feel, is I will create a character in the style of the video. So try to match the style and the character as much as possible. This helps with the consistency of the character as well. I think like for photorealistic characters, um, to be used as a 3D animation, that's like relatively easy. But like using a 3D animation character in photorealistic can look a little wonky. So just try to be mindful of like what the character is, and what you want it to look like. So an example of this is, let's see, let's go my characters. So you can see I created these characters here, and they are 2D animation characters. They're futuristic, etc. So I created these 3 characters. And then if you go to my styles, I also created 2 different styles. So I created a style for a modern Afro City style, and it's like 2D, so it keeps the 2D animation, like the city life of Zimbabwe, and it's trying to, mix in a few different things for what the character backgrounds would look like. But the 2D animation is key here. I'm trying to create 2D animation characters with 2D animation style. I did actually originally create a style for them that was also futuristic. And the reason I didn't like this is that it made everything look futuristic, and that's not what my intention was. So if we go here, here we go. So you can see this video, everything and everyone is futuristic in this, right? And that was not my intention. My intention was that they would look futuristic, but that the city itself would look like regular modern city, which is the reason that I created the modern Afro City style. So once I did that, I then created these images where now you have like the background of it looks like what one would expect the city to look like now, and only the kids look futuristic, right? Just the superheroes have this like futuristic look to them. But the consistency helps because they are all 2D animation. So that's just something to keep in mind when creating styles and creating characters, is that the more they match, the more consistency you'll get. Let's go check on our people here. Okay, so this is fully animated. Yes, okay, great. So that is, David, that's a great question. We don't have a Facebook group, but we do have a Discord. So I can blast that out in the follow-up email just so folks can join the Discord. And if you all want to share tips and tricks there, you can definitely do that. Okay, so now here we have everything's now animated. Let's see how it looks.
Are you sure this is the way, Tina? My map says.
Maps are for grown-ups, Ben. My instincts say this way.
Your instincts led us to that giant spider web last week.
It was a beautiful spider web. Anyway, don't you hear that?
You're what? Just squirrels.
No, listen, it's like a hum. And look.
Whoa, what is that?
It's incredible.
Okay, so we're gonna go back and fix some of the lip sync here. Okay, so here you can see is
Are you sure this is the way, Tina? My map says.
Maps are for grown-ups, Ben.
so here she's not even talking at all. Let's try here. We're gonna reanimate and kind of just this will expose the animation prompt used to create this. Standing confidently. I'm gonna try something. I've not actually tried this in the past, so you're gonna see me try this in real time. Standing confidently in the green forest, sunlight filtering through the trees gently, swaying her curly hair, saying maps are for grown-ups. With a chuckle. I cannot see this. Okay. Let's see how that goes. A lot of times like this lip sync here was really good.
It was a beautiful spider web. Anyway, don't you hear that?
You're what? Just squirrels.
So she did great. I think the one thing I might want to change here is just like, her pointing in a direction. I think I'll leave this one alone, but if I wanted to change this one, I might, say that like at the end she points in a different direction or etc. Kind of just like, don't you hear that? Or like her hands go up to her ear. There's just like ways to get, actually, let's just do it. Um, Close eyes closed. Holds her hands to her ears as though listening. So, let's see. So we don't have like an undo. But for instance, I don't like this generation and I like the previously generated image. I would just go here and then select the videos to select this one. There are times when I don't like the animation so much that I don't want to keep reanimating and instead I go back to the still image and then reanimate from there. That is totally an option. You do get 10 free reanimations per day. So sometimes obviously it's just easier to click reanimate and then not have to pay for it. If you start from the still image, you will have to pay the 15 credits for that animation. But the things we do for art, so.
Listen, it's like a hum. And look.
Okay, let's see. Let's go back to this one.
What is that?
It's incredible. Like something out of a dream.
It says twinkle.
Look.
Okay, so something I noticed which is I think sometimes hard to see it this way when you're just looking at still images, but with this version, right? It's like they're technically both talking about the same spaceship, but they are not both in the scene. So, what I would do here is let's go back to the images. I'm going back to, I'm gonna actually replace it with this one. So as you can see, like this is close to the image. It's the image for this one. I'm actually going to do this one as well. And I'm going to, and I don't know if this will work, but let's see. We're going to add Tina to the scene. Okay. Oh, no. Okay, as I mentioned, I think sometimes with the edit, when you're editing, it doesn't really reference the images or the objects as well. So a lot of times if you want to add a custom character or a product, in this case, an object, then it makes more sense to just regenerate it. So let's do this instead. Swap pensing. No. Back to this one. So I'm copying this one because this is the original image and I want to use the same image prompt. Line object, say closer to Twinkle Spaceship, just to make sure that we're pulling in Twinkle Spaceship. Tina stands beside him. Okay. So again, when I was looking at this as still images, it looked perfectly fine that they were, both looking at the spaceship from the same angle, I guess. It just didn't feel as obvious, but once you animate it, it starts to feel a little bit more obvious that, it's like, oh, how do they go from him being underneath the spaceship and then her being underneath the spaceship? He's not there, she's not there. Um, so my goal here is I'm going to regenerate this and then hopefully just use the same image here. So that it just falls to the same thing. Now, another option is that maybe I wouldn't necessarily have two scenes here, but instead I would just make this scene longer. So let's see what this image looks like once it's ready. Let's move on to over here and kind of look here.
Door's open.
Oh, maybe we shouldn't get too close.
Don't be a scaredy cat, Ben. This is the coolest thing ever.
It's
Okay.
pink.
Hello there. Are you Twinkle?
Hello? It talks?
Oh, it looks friendly.
Okay, so here's a situation where maybe it would have been better to not have.
Oh, it talks?
Let's make this one a little longer. Okay.
Hello there. Are you Twinkle?
Hello? It talks?
We're gonna go here. Again, this scene from this scene seems a little odd. So instead, I'm going to reuse the scene again. So we're gonna go generated images, and I'm gonna go back to the scene. Sorry, images. I'm gonna go back to the scene of where is it? Of her kneeling next to him. And for this, so as you can see, like this is a very short scene. It just says it talks, right? Like Ben just says it talks.
Talk?
Oh, it looks friendly.
And so instead of having this be two separate scenes, I'm just gonna have this be one scene. And I'm gonna remove. Okay, so sorry, all I did was I grabbed this marker here, I moved it over to the end of that scene, so now it's just removing that scene. And
Hi, friend.
I guess my map. Talk?
Oh, it looks friendly. Hi, friend.
okay, so here I am gonna reanimate this because I want now the new lip sync. And I want this thing to not show up, but let's see. The children playfully reach out. Carefully. Let's see. No.
Hello there. Are you Twinkle?
Hello? It talks?
Okay. So what I want to do for this one is, let's see, I'm going to add more script here for this scene to make it a little longer. Creature says hello. I'm going to make this up a little bit. It's just going to say, hello, my name is Gee. Hi.
My name is Pinky. Hi. It talks?
Start from here.
Hello there. Are you Twinkle?
Hello, my name is Pinky. Hi.
And while I added that, I'm actually going to mute this scene. So what I want here is like I want a longer scene, but I want it to be a quiet scene, and we currently don't have a way to just offer like blank scenes with no narration. So a workaround here is you can mute the scene. So, it's still going based off of the length of the narration, which is why I added like a longer sentence to try to get the scene to be longer. Um, but I actually don't want it to talk. So I instead did.
Oh, my name is Pinky.
Oh,
Hi.
sometimes it doesn't. Give me a second. We had a bug where it would not work in the editor, but it does work when you export it. So let me see. Maybe this will fix it.
Oh, my name is Pinky. Hi.
Okay. So as you can see, though, it is muted. So once I export this, this will be a blank scene. Obviously, that's a little hard, so I will just flag this for the team that this isn't working at the moment. But this is a mute scene. So, and here I'm gonna change it to, does it talk? And then, oh, it looks friendly. Hi, friend. My name is Tina. Again, because once I think you start going through the motion of this, it's a little helpful to have slightly longer scenes. So then we're gonna go. So, oh, it removed the scene. Okay, also a bug. I'm gonna add the scene back. I may. Actually, no, never mind. It removed this scene. Again, this is a bug, so I'll make sure to flag this for the team, but I'm gonna add this back in. Hi, my name is Pinky. Hello. Again, just trying to make this a little longer. I'm gonna do pink creature here. Save, regenerate. And then now it's a blank scene, so I'm gonna go back and use a previously generated image. Here, use the same one. Okay. Let's see.
The talk? Oh, it looks friendly.
Hi, friend. My name is Tina.
I guess my map didn't have this landmark.
Okay, so we're seeing some of these are not lip syncing very well. I'm gonna just try to go back to the original image and get these to be a little better. Where are the two kids with? Okay, right here. Let's see if this works. So, maybe with AI, we have how many scenes here? So here are a few scenes that, oh, actually I need to change this one before I animate this. All right, this is too small. Ben getting closer to the twinkle spaceship, closer to the side of the twinkle spaceship, about double his height. Let's do this. Try to describe the height of this. Okay, and the goal here is that I will reuse this image here. Maybe try to put Tina here, but Tina's now wearing like a different outfit, different hair, different Tina. Oh, no, I'm not. I will just reuse the same one. Okay. And then we'll try to reanimate some of these. Oh gosh. That's not great. Okay. Let me see. If I use this exact same prompt, if we can get closer. Standing. Actually, let me up closer to, I'm gonna remove this side. I don't know if that kind of threw it off a little bit. Okay. All right, well, in interest of time, I'm just going to start animating some of these so we can see them quickly. Just a few things, I guess, like to call out with animations and kind of to think about prompting here. I generally, if I'm doing these for my own purposes, I will lean on ChatGPT even for the prompts or Claude for the prompts. I think it helps a little bit if you're, I think me specifically, as someone who is not, I am not a videographer. So I don't really know all of the different words for how to describe like the zoom in process or the angle or etc. So it helps to use ChatGPT even as describing like, hey, how would I say XYZ thing? And makes the prompt a little better. So if I wanted to come like from overhead or I wanted, from just a different angle, if I'm looking for like a different style, these are the things that could help a little bit in making the style or the prompt more of what you're looking for. Let's see. Okay, this one looks nuts. Okay, well, we're just gonna leave this as is for now. Well, maybe I can make, but yes, okay. So my goal here was to get closer to this, and obviously with her looking the way in her outfit that she's already in, I could then just reuse some of the other images where they're together. But for now, I'm just going to animate what we've got to kind of see what these last few images can look like. And then I'm going to mute that scene and just kind of export really quickly. So yeah, so something just to consider, obviously, if I had a little bit more time, I would spend a little bit more time just editing some of the animation prompts, trying to get the image prompt to look closer to what I'm looking for. Um, I think one thing I would also test out is trying to standardize the size of Twinkle the spaceship, just so that that's a little bit more consistent. So I might go back and see if I can play around with that and try to get that to be more specific. Um, just a couple of like tips for how to maybe increase the consistency across the video. And then in terms of getting the animations right to like match with the lip sync, sometimes just reanimating helps get you closer to what the lip sync should be. Okay, almost there. All right, well, while we let that play, another thing to highlight that I think people don't leverage as much is our audio tab. So our audio tab has voiceover, which includes like the voiceover speed, the voiceover, and then you can also upload your own audio. Um, and this is something that we're also thinking of launching soon, which is having like an audio library so that folks can upload and use audio here. So these actually are not audio that I have uploaded. These are some of the audio that just I've made through my ad. Right, the Lucky Charms ad had this one. We're going to, just for the sake of time, show you a little bit of what that would look like. So here you're using this tab and then you can fade the music in and out.
The door's open.
Let's start from the beginning.
Are you sure this is the way, Tina? My map says.
Maps are for grown-ups, Ben. My instincts say this way.
Your instincts led us to that giant.
So I mean, I think for this specific one, and a song probably doesn't make sense because it's like a story. But if you are making an ad or if you're making an explainer video, that is a place where you could probably use some music to lighten up the video. Let's see how we look over here.
Hi, my name is Pinky. Hello? Does it talk? Oh, it looks friendly.
Let me turn off this music. Again, this is how we turn it off, turn it on. You just click it on and off. You can increase the volume here. Let's see.
Hi, my name is Pinky. Hello? Does it talk? Oh, it looks friendly.
Hi, friend. My name is Tina.
I guess my map didn't have this landmark.
Okay. Now, if I had more time, I would play around with this to get the lip sync to start working a little better. But yes, this is just, a part of the workflow for making these videos and improving consistency, improving just like what the quality of the image looks like. I'm going to quickly just export this. I'm going to leave this as unlisted, so I hope and assume that many of you have already used our exporting function. You can connect to YouTube or TikTok and get 50 additional credits for making that connection, and then you can directly upload to your YouTube or TikTok account through here. I'm going to click share. And then if you go into exports, you'll see it's exporting the video. Once you make changes, this will, instead of saying copy link, this will say share again because it'll initiate a new export when you click share to incorporate those changes. Okay. Or you can just start your another export here. And a use case for that would be that you've downloaded this version in standard and you want it 1080p. So you can make the changes here and then just download a new one. One quick thing to highlight that I think folks don't see as often, or we don't see people using, is the transitions. The other thing I would change here is I probably would remove all the transitions or at least standardize the transitions. So here, if you go right here to the chevron up here, you click edit all transitions, and then I would click none and just apply to all scenes. So that would remove all the transitions, or you can also make them all fade or make them all the same. Right, so I made that change and now it says share because that does not incorporate that change, but I'm not going to click on that for now. I'm just going to open this video here.
Map says,
Maps are for grown-ups, Ben. My instincts say this way.
your instincts led us to that giant spider web last week.
It was a beautiful spider web. Anyway, don't you hear that?
Hear what? Just squirrels.
I forgot to watch that video, that part. Okay, so she's like, do you hear that? Okay, great. So obviously there's still a lot of other things I can make changes to here, and there are a lot of ways to make those changes. So just like play around and, try to get try to get through these changes as best as possible. You can either replace an image completely, you can make edits, you can upload images, you can use previously generated images. I think to me, like being able to access previously generated images, especially for a project that you're working on a little bit longer, is a game changer, because it allows you to just reuse those images in other places. If you're looking for a very consistent scene at the beginning and at the end, that's a really, really good way to do that. So yeah. All right, that is, I think, everything we have for today. I will share. Oh, and sorry, we had a question about, can you use images from your picture album? Yes, you can upload images here. So you can click here and then both in your phone or from your desktop, you can upload images. All right. Great. So I will share this recording. It'll be on YouTube, and I will share it as a blast on Luma, so everyone will receive it that way as well. If you have any other questions, you can find us at help@hypernatural.ai, or you can attend our webinar next month. We haven't put those up yet, but I will put those up shortly, so they'll be available by later this week, or at the latest early next week, for folks that want to continue to come to these. So yeah, thank you all so much for joining today, and have so much fun creating some videos.